We start this video with one of the strangest urban exploration clips ever uploaded. In October 2016, a YouTuber named Gabriel Bossenberry explored an abandoned building near O'Galley in Melbourne, Florida. His channel was almost empty, only videos from this one exploration, nothing before it and nothing after. At first, it looked like a normal urbex video, an abandoned place, a camera, and someone curious enough to step inside. But what Gabriel found nearby was far from normal. While moving through the area, he began hearing strange sounds coming from a sewer tunnel. Curious, he followed them, and what he found below felt almost impossible to process. Inside the tunnel, a man was trapped, wedged between concrete walls and unable to free himself. He appeared distressed and unstable, clawing and scraping at the concrete as if he had already been stuck there for a long time. Gabriel tried speaking to him, asking questions and trying to understand how he got there, but the man's responses were erratic, confused, and difficult to follow.
You can't make this man. What do you got, a flashlight?
Yeah.
Oh, you got yourself in a position, man. Are you hiding from somebody?
Nope.
Well, so what the are you doing in here?
Amazing grace, how sweet.
Look at this. This is nuts. This is straight out of a horror movie, man.
The whole scene feels wrong from the moment the camera sees him. It's clear that the man is in trouble, but there is no easy way to reach him or pull him out. The echo of the tunnel, the panic in the man's movements, and the complete lack of explanation make the footage feel less like a normal exploration and more like something he was never meant to find. But the most disturbing part is what happened afterward. Nothing. The man remains trapped. Gabriel is unable to help, and this became the last video ever uploaded to the channel. No follow-up, no update, no explanation. Just one final video, and a man in a sewer whose fate is still unknown. But that was only the first place where an abandoned building turned into something far darker. YouTuber Kyle and his brother set out for what was supposed to be a typical weekend exploration, driving 2 hours to visit an abandoned nightclub called Banana Joe's in Wilkes-Barre, Pennsylvania. The building had once been a train station before becoming a nightclub, and after years of decay, it seemed like the kind of place urban explorers are naturally drawn to. But once they were inside, the excitement quickly faded. The building was dark, unstable, and clearly dangerous. Sections of the floor were missing, beams looked weak, and every room seemed to carry the weight of years of neglect. As they moved through the old nightclub, the atmosphere became heavier. What started as curiosity slowly turned into unease. Then, near the back of the building by the old bar area, they made a horrifying discovery.
What? Hanging dead in there, yo. Oh my god. Yo. Oh my god. Alright, let's get out of here. Oh my god. Oh my god. Oh my god. I can't film that. Dude, get out of here. Yo, we gotta notify them.
A man had hanged himself from the rafters above. The sight was so sudden and so real that the brothers froze, completely unprepared for what they had just found. This was no longer an abandoned building with a creepy atmosphere. It was an active death scene. They left quickly and called emergency services once they were outside. Police and paramedics arrived, and authorities later followed up to document what had happened. But very little information was ever made public. For Kyle and his brother, the exploration ended with something far darker than decay, the reminder that abandoned places do not only hold forgotten history. Sometimes, they hold the final moments of a real person's life. But if you thought this was shocking, wait until you see what happens next. The channel. The fam shared a video on January 22nd, 2020 that escalated much faster than anyone expected. That day, James had gone to explore an abandoned location rumored to be both creepy and possibly haunted. He chose to enter just before sunset, when there was still enough light to move around, but the atmosphere was already starting to change. From the outside, the building already looked unstable. Parts of it were broken down, the ground was uneven, and certain areas looked like they could collapse if he stepped in the wrong place. And almost immediately, the exploration started badly. Within minutes of entering, James misstepped into a water-filled section, soaking his shoe and injuring his knee slightly. But that was only the beginning. As he moved deeper inside, he began to hear something. At first it was faint enough to question, but slowly it became clearer. Voices, possibly a conversation, coming from somewhere above him.
This is one of my more scarier explorers, guys. I definitely have. Guys, we're gonna keep on going. I hear people up there. I guess there's like a second floor or second story. I definitely. Oh, this is crazy. What the hell? Do you hear that? There's like a bunch of people up there. Where am I heading right here? This is so freaking sketchy. I don't know of a video I've ever been this freaked out, especially the fact that I'm alone.
In that moment, the entire mood changed. James lowered his voice, quieted his steps, and tried to figure out where the sound was coming from. He still could not see anyone, but the presence was unmistakable. Instead of leaving immediately, he kept moving, carefully navigating the structure while trying to stay out of sight. Eventually, he saw movement on the upper level, confirming what he had already feared.
What's that? Oh, God. Next time I need to look and then step, not step and then look. Whoa, is that a hole? I don't know if that's a building or a wall. Oh, maybe, wait. Is that somebody up there? Is that somebody up there? No, yeah, it is somebody up there. Whoa. Alright, I don't want them to see me. Damn, that looks spooky right there, guys.
From that point on, the danger no longer felt like it came from the building itself. It came from the possibility of turning a corner and finding someone standing there. And then, that moment arrived.
Oh, shit! What the? Yo, bro, come on. Yo, I'm good, dude. You alright? I'm just making a video, dude. Bro, you need anything? You okay? Alright, I got you, man. Alright, man. Alright, bro. Alright. I'm just making a video, bro. I'm sorry, I didn't mean to be in your place.
Without warning, a man appeared and rushed toward him. James reacted instantly, backing away and trying to de-escalate, explaining that he was only filming and meant no harm. But instead of simply retreating the way he had entered, he made a split-second decision to run upstairs, hoping to put distance between himself and the man. That choice only made the situation more complicated.
Give me a freaking heart attack. I wish you could feel my heart right now. I knew that was gonna happen. I knew something like that was gonna happen here. Where the hell am I up here? I don't want to go back down that way. Oh, hell no. What the hell, guys? That scared the living crap out of me because I had no idea there was anybody there. I gotta breathe. Oh my God, my heart is beating so fast. Look at this crap. Oh my God. Oh, that about gave me a heart attack, fam. I might have to go back down that way.
Once he reached the top, James realized he did not know where the exits were. The building was confusing, unstable, and now he was in an unfamiliar section with no clear way out. So he did something unexpected. He went live. Not as a stunt, but because he wanted people to know what was happening in real time if things got worse. Even then, the situation was not over. At one point, he had to climb back down, unsure whether the same person was still waiting below.
Hey, stay back there, dude. Yo. There you go, guys. Holy crap. Holy crap. Oh my God, that was crazy, guys.
Looking back, James admitted this was not just another creepy exploration. It was a situation that could have gone wrong very quickly. Because inside abandoned places, the scariest thing is not always the building, or the rumors, or even the darkness. Sometimes it is realizing someone else is already there. And the next explorer would soon realize he was not alone either. On September 10th, 2019, travel YouTuber Bald and Bankrupt uploaded what looked like a typical vlog from a forgotten town in Kyrgyzstan. At first, it seemed calm, just a quiet walk through empty streets, abandoned buildings, and the remains of a place most people had left behind. But as the video continued, the atmosphere slowly changed.
Whoa, blin! Я боюсь! Черт! Oh, blin! Me, you scared me. No, I think I might get out of here. Okay, have a nice one.
The moment itself luckily wasn't violent, and nothing directly happened to him. But that did make him realize the risks that are possible. Because when you walk through abandoned places, especially somewhere far from help, the danger is not always obvious. Sometimes it is just a sound, a shadow, or the sudden feeling that you may not be as alone as you thought. And that is what made this clip linger. Not because of what clearly happened, but because of what might have been waiting somewhere in the dark. And that takes us to the next clip where things become genuinely terrifying. It comes from Chris from Urbex Hill. Back in June 2022, Chris visited one of Cleveland's eerier abandoned locations, the old Westinghouse factory. After shutting down in the 1970s, the building spent decades decaying until what remained felt less like a forgotten workplace and more like a place people only entered if they had a reason to hide. And on that day, what Chris found inside would leave viewers wondering who or what had been watching him the entire time.
All right, y'all, let's do this. Yeah, somebody's shooting. Damn.
Almost immediately after stepping inside, Chris could tell something was off. Graffiti covered the walls, trash was scattered across the floors, and a dirty mattress suggested that someone had recently been living there. The factory itself felt like a maze, full of broken rooms, dark corners, and long corridors where sound carried strangely. With every turn, it became harder to know whether he was truly alone. And soon, he stumbled directly into something deeply unsettling.
This place is so wet. Oh, you scared the fuck out of me. Yo. You need some help, bro? Yo. Fuck that. He's not even responding. I'm gonna leave him alone. Get the fuck out of his way.
Chris cautiously tried to offer help, but the encounter clearly disturbed him. Something about the man's presence, the setting, and the silence around them felt wrong, so Chris backed away. But after only a few tense minutes, curiosity pulled him back. He returned to the same spot, wanting to understand who the man was and whether he was still there. But when he arrived, something had changed.
Yo. Yo. Hey, I got some money for you. Oh, shit, he's not there. And he's not responding.
The man was gone. Chris had only stepped away for a short time, which meant he could not have gone far. Somewhere inside that maze of concrete and darkness, he was still nearby.
I bet you he's in that room right there. Here we go, y'all. He's gotta be in there. Yo. Anybody in here?
Chris continued moving carefully through the factory, not realizing he was about to pass within feet of the person he had been looking for.
There's a lot of bats down here too, damn.
If you look closely at the left side of the frame, the man appears in the darkness, standing almost completely still and watching Chris as he moves through the building. But Chris does not notice him. He keeps exploring, unaware of how close the encounter really was. Soon after, he finds another unsettling sign that the factory is not empty.
Oh shit. Oh look. Damn, there's a bunch of homeless people down here. Yeah, I'm gonna get out of here.
Through a large hole in one of the walls, Chris can see someone pacing back and forth, likely near an entrance others used to move in and out without being seen. At that point, the feeling of curiosity gives way to something closer to instinct. Chris decides it is time to leave, making his way back out of the factory as the video comes to an end. But 3 years later, he returns to the same location, not knowing the building still has more to reveal.
This is where I saw that dude at. This is where that homeless dude was standing. Standing right here. Probably came from those stairs. Right there.
Within minutes, Chris finds himself standing in the exact area where the mysterious man had once been seen watching him from the dark. Later, he enters a narrow corridor, completely unaware that another unsettling moment is about to happen.
There's gotta be somebody in here. Yeah, I'm out of here.
Chris does not notice it at the time, but just ahead of him, a man quietly walks past and disappears into the darkness. And that is what makes this place so disturbing. It is not ghosts or rumors that create the fear. It is the very real possibility that in a building this large, this broken, and this full of hiding places, someone can be only a few feet away. And you would never know until it is too late. But just when you think it can't get stranger, it does. Meet Tom, the creator behind Exploring with Tom, a channel focused on documenting abandoned buildings and the stories left behind inside them. On August 16, 2018, what started as a standard exploration turned into something much more personal and far less predictable. Tom set out to explore what he believed was an abandoned house, only to discover it had once been the Strawberry Tavern, a restaurant long forgotten and left to decay. Even before entering, he understood the risk. Buildings like this are often used by people with nowhere else to go, which meant he could easily run into someone inside. Still, he decided to continue. After climbing onto the roof to find a way in, he managed to enter the building, camera ready, expecting to document the space. But almost immediately, it became clear he was not alone.
So I thought this place was a house, but it's a restaurant, which is crazy. This is the inside of it. I'm actually having second thoughts of going in here. Holy shit, man. You okay? Yeah? That's good, you okay, yeah? I'm just exploring. I explore abandoned places.
You should really be.
Are you okay in there? You okay?
What are you doing?
I'm just exploring, man.
What's that?
It's a camera. I'm not gonna interrupt you to nothing. Are you,
for?
no, I don't put it nowhere. I just record it, but it doesn't go nowhere. Don't worry.
And what do you put it on YouTube and that?
No.
A voice called out, followed by the appearance of a man from inside the structure. And not just one, there were at least 2 people living there. At that point, the situation could have gone in a very different direction. Instead of leaving immediately, Tom made an unexpected decision. He left the building briefly, not to escape, but to gather supplies for the men he had just encountered.
Some of them minstrels. Right, so I don't really want to get them energy drinks. I want to get them water, so a packet of water. Right, so I'm just gonna get in this big ass crate of water. Kinder bars, minstrels, and 2, 4, 6, 8 bottles of water in the pack. So I'm gonna go back, give this to them now. This is gonna make their f***ing day, so yeah. Right, so guys, I've got all this stuff for the homeless guys.
When he returned, the situation became more complicated. Police had arrived outside, and getting back inside without drawing attention required careful timing. Once back in, the interaction shifted again.
So I've got to get back up here ASAP because I don't want the police to see me, because I don't want to give attention. Right, I think the police are already in the van over there, so... Right, I don't know what I'm going to do. Right. Oh fuck, I'm just going to keep going. Fuck it, why not? Do you know what, please come over and say what I'm doing. I'm just going to say I'm on a little picnic for myself. I've got all the stuff for them here.
The man, cautious but appreciative, allowed Tom to stay under one condition: that he would not film them directly. Tom respected that, continuing to document the building itself while keeping distance from the people inside. As the exploration continued, the tone changed from tension to something more grounded.
Get me, face.
Oh, sorry, no.
Don't listen.
Trust me, it's fine, don't worry about it. Do not worry.
Listen, my mate's gonna climb out now, right? My mate's coming out now, right?
Yeah, no problem.
Don't take no shots of him. Not even of his lower half.
Right, I'm in the house now. Let's go this way. Wait, can we go downstairs? Wait, I'm gonna go downstairs first. And wow, this place is sick. This place is amazing. Holy crap. Holy crap, man. This place is incredible.
The building was still decayed and unstable, but now it held a different kind of story. One of the men eventually opened up, sharing parts of his life.
Yo, hello?
Hello.
Yo, you okay?
Are you in?
Yeah, man, I'm in. I'm all good,
Yeah,
I'm in.
man.
Sweet. It's a nice place in here, like, isn't it?
It's a nice place.
Yeah, well, it's good enough. It's, you know.
Oh, my mate's been here fucking months and months and months and months before me.
Yeah,
I've been here. I got made homeless Christmas.
yeah.
I was in prison for 3 months. Right? You only served 12 weeks of that, mate, yeah? For nothing bad or nothing. I'm 46, mate. I'm not a young fucking idiot. All I want is a chance to be able to get myself up and out of this fucking, yeah.
He had become homeless around Christmas and had recently been released from prison, now trying to find some way to rebuild his life. It was no longer just an abandoned location. It was someone's reality. Eventually, Tom made his way out, leaving the supplies behind.
Where's the guys? Look, the police are still outside. Here's my bike down there. So I'm just gonna go out ASAP. And yeah, so.
But even as he left, the presence of the police outside added one last layer of tension to the experience. In the end, this exploration was not defined by fear or danger, but by something else entirely. The realization that behind every abandoned place, there are stories that are still unfolding. And sometimes, those stories are far more human than anything you expected to find. But this next clip wasn't nearly as human. It was darker, stranger, and much harder to explain. This video comes from the YouTube channel Forte, known for exploring abandoned locations that carry both history and tension within their walls. On April 17, 2022, at around 4 a.m., the two friends set out to explore a deserted hotel with a reputation that extended far beyond simple abandonment. The building had once been used as a refuge for former prisoners and homeless individuals, and over time, it had developed a history tied to violence, instability, and stories that were difficult to verify, but impossible to ignore. As they approached the structure, something immediately felt wrong.
Oh my god, there's a light on. There's a light on. This is the whole building. Oh my god. Bro, I'm actually shaking.
Bro, how's there electricity?
No, maybe it's just like a glitch or something.
Light appeared to be on inside the building, something that should not have been there in a place that had supposedly been empty for years. That single detail changed the entire tone of the exploration before they had even stepped inside. Once they entered, the silence felt unnatural. Every small sound stood out, and the deeper they went into the hallways, the more the tension built. That tension was confirmed when they found a television in one of the rooms with a faint red light still glowing at the bottom. It was a subtle detail, but it carried a clear implication. Someone was using this space. Moving cautiously, they approached the room and called out, trying to make their presence known without escalating the situation. Moments later, they came face to face with someone inside.
Hello? If there's anyone in there, let me know, because we're exploring the building and I don't want to interrupt you. So if you don't want me to open the door, just let me know. Oh, hello.
Hello.
Yo, hi.
Who's it? Hi, sorry, we're just looking around.
Pardon? Oh, is this your...
Yeah, we're running this place now.
Oh, I'm so sorry.
Oh, yeah, we're just exploring, making videos, that's it.
No, you should be out.
Oh, we'll leave, yeah.
How do you get in?
Through the fence.
In the front?
Yeah.
Where do I get the key?
Oh, we can, okay.
The encounter shifted instantly. The man's reaction made it clear that they were not welcome, and the atmosphere in the room changed from uncertainty to something much more direct. They stopped filming, focusing instead on keeping the situation calm. Then the man added something that made the decision for them.
Oh, I thought they were cops.
Oh, no.
Because usually cops out here, they turn up here for someone to climb in and...
Thank you, mate. Have a good night.
You guys have been...
Yeah. What?
That wasn't the owner.
So who was he?
He said he was looking after the place.
Yeah, because he said if you knocked on the other guy's door, that guy would have... He says something.
He said there's people sleeping there?
Yeah. What the f***?
Without waiting to find out more, they left. But even after getting out safely, the encounter raised more questions than answers. The man claimed he was watching over the building, yet he was not the owner. He hinted that others were inside, and the sounds from nearby rooms suggested that he was not alone. Whether he was trying to intimidate them, or whether something else was happening inside that hotel remains unclear. But one thing was certain: the danger was real. And in places like that, it does not come from stories or rumors. It comes from the people who choose to stay there. But this next exploration proves things can always get darker. The channel The Excursionist, run by friends Alex and Alistair, is known for capturing the quiet, almost frozen atmosphere of abandoned places. Locations where time feels like it has stopped completely. But on January 28, 2018, their exploration of an old Victorian credential assurance building turned into something far more intense than they had expected. What began as a search for architecture and history quickly shifted into something far more uncertain. From the moment they stepped inside, the building did not feel right. The silence was heavy, the layout disorienting, and every footstep echoed louder than it should have. It created the kind of tension where even small sounds start to feel deliberate.
This place is something very interesting. If you can hear me, we've had what sounds like people in the building since we've arrived. But we're gonna try and film something anyway. Let's see what's in store for this explore for the 2018. It is freezing cold, by the way.
As they moved deeper inside, they began hearing distinct noises. Not random creaks, but something that sounded intentional enough to make them question whether they were alone. That question lingered only briefly before they decided to investigate further, heading toward the upper levels to find the source.
Upon reaching the top floor of the building, we heard some more noises that led us to further question whether we were alone. Yeah, it's just the windows.
Can we stop that? So we don't shit ourselves later. The reason we're being so cautious is we heard voices when we first entered the building. Just telling the members.
For a moment, they found a simple explanation. A loose window, shifting in the wind, seemed to account for what they had been hearing. The tension eased slightly, just enough to keep them moving. But instead of turning back, curiosity pushed them further into the building, toward a staircase leading down to the lower levels. And that is where everything changed.
on that staircase. The way out.
The sounds returned, clearer this time. Voices, close enough to remove any doubt. At that point, the atmosphere shifted completely. This was no longer about exploring architecture or documenting decay. It became about understanding whether they were safe. Still, they moved back toward the source, trying to confirm what they had heard. But waiting for them in the darkness was something far more real than anything they had imagined.
That's scared. Holy shit. I'm gonna try. Oh, look at the wallpaper. So this is what this would have been.
When they saw the outline of a person, everything else faded into the background. The building, the camera, the original purpose of their visit. None of it mattered anymore. The only question left was who that person was and what might happen next.
I'm down to carry on.
With a guy in here who's drugged up out of his head.
Maybe come back.
What do you mean?
A later day.
Later today?
Later, no, a later day. Come back in summer maybe. Do it.
Yeah,
Version 2.
This video.
Yeah.
Like this is a sketch.
Realizing the individual appeared to be under the influence, the risk became too unpredictable to ignore. At that point, instinct took over, and they made the decision to leave. They got out safely, but the experience stayed with them. Because in places like that, the danger is not always hidden in the structure itself. Sometimes it is the people already inside, people you only discover when it is almost too late. And that takes us back to a video from the channel Urbex Hill. This one was posted on March 8, 2026, and from the beginning, it did not feel like a normal exploration. It started inside an abandoned church in Cleveland, where Chris was completely alone with only his camera and a live stream running. At first, the building was quiet. He moved through broken hallways, damaged walls, and sections of the church that were clearly falling apart. The place did not just look abandoned, it looked unsafe. But then the noises started.
Whoa. Jesus. Oh, this is crazy. This place is falling apart so quick. It's all this water damage. I thought I heard talking.
At first, the sounds were small enough to dismiss, the kind of creaks and shifts old buildings make all the time. But they kept happening. Chris began pausing more often, listening as each noise seemed slightly louder or closer than the last. Soon, the echoes were coming from different directions, as if something or someone was moving somewhere inside the building with him.
What is this? Yeah, I heard that too. In memory of Norma. Thanks for the 15, I appreciate it. Yo, I don't know about stepping over here though. Cause that collapse looks wild. Yeah, look how it's just dipping over there. Yeah, I'm good.
The atmosphere grew heavier. The silence between the noises stretched just long enough to make him question whether he had really heard anything at all. But when he moved down into the lower level of the church, the feeling changed completely. The space felt darker, colder, and more closed in. Then suddenly, Chris froze.
Yo, oh my God. There is a body down here. Oh my God. Dude, please. Please tell me that's not a body. Oh my God. Shit. Oh my God, please. I do not need this tonight. Oh my God, please. Shit. Please don't tell me that. Bro, there is like legs and shoes and some pants. I am not joking. I am not playing. I can't tell if that's real. Oh, no. Oh, my God. Alright. I was tripping. Oh, my God. I'm sorry, y'all. Y'all don't understand, man.
On the ground was what looked like the lower half of a mannequin. But in the darkness, for one terrifying second, it looked like a body. His reaction made it clear that he genuinely believed he had found someone dead while live on stream. A moment later, he realized it was not real, but that did not make the rest of the exploration feel any safer. The deeper he went, the more unsettling the details became. He began noticing signs that did not belong in a forgotten church. Fresh footprints, disturbed areas, and evidence that someone may have been inside recently. After that, his behavior changed. He avoided certain corridors, spoke less, and listened more carefully to every sound around him. Eventually, he made it out of the church, but the tension did not end there. Chris began checking nearby buildings, and several clearly seemed to have people inside.
Somebody's in here. Bro, there's shit on the floor. Look. Dad. Yeah, there's a crackhead in there. I'm not fucking with him. These things look crazy though. Damn.
Then came one of the most unsettling moments of the night. A car pulled up slowly nearby. Chris lowered his light, stopped moving, and went completely silent.
Yo, you can't even turn up that street, can you? The f***? That's sketchy as hell, y'all. That was sketchy.
There were no ghosts, no clear paranormal event, and no dramatic reveal. But that almost made it more frightening. The fear came from something real. The knowledge that in places like this, you never truly know who else is nearby until it is already too late. But compared to what happens next, that was only the beginning. Elderwood Avenue in Cleveland is not just abandoned, it carries a reputation. Once tied to gang activity and violence, the neighborhood had become mostly empty over time, but empty does not always mean safe. And on February 12, 2023, a YouTuber named Ace and his crew also decided to explore the decaying houses there, fully aware that the area had a dark history. As they stepped into the first building, the snow outside gave way to rotting floors, broken walls, and the heavy feeling of a place that had been left behind for years. The structure was unstable, and every step had to be taken carefully.
Oh my, I just about walked right through that.
You did?
If your light wasn't on, I wouldn't have seen that.
I just said there's a big hole there.
One of the explorers nearly fell through a large hole in the floor, catching himself just in time. A mistake like that could have caused serious injury, especially in a building where help would not arrive quickly. But the crew kept moving, passing broken furniture, old belongings, and even a shopping cart left inside, signs that other people had been there before them. The deeper they went, the more uncertain the exploration became. And then, unexpectedly, they ran into someone.
Holy sh**. I'm so sorry, dude. You scared the shit out of me.
Tommy?
The man turned out to be a former gang leader from the area. He was not aggressive, but his presence still changed the atmosphere immediately. He spoke about the neighborhood's violent past, warned them that people still moved through those abandoned houses, and made it clear they needed to be careful.
Man, do you mind if we take some pictures of this building? No, we're good. Thank you, though. We can get to this building from here, right there.
Oh my God, Tommy, you just scared me.
The encounter ended calmly, with both sides walking away. But the warning stayed with them. Because in places like this, the danger is not always the building falling apart around you. Sometimes it is who else might be inside, and whether they are as willing to let you leave. But what comes next doesn't feel human at all. On October 14th, 2019, YouTuber Baker X Derek uploaded a video that began like a calm, cinematic motorcycle ride through the hills, but slowly turned into one of the most unsettling experiences he had ever captured on camera. What started as a simple cruise for good views and smooth footage took a darker turn when he passed a house he had apparently seen before. Only this time, something about it felt different. Curiosity eventually pulled him off the road and into the long driveway, and the deeper he went, the clearer it became that this place was not just old. It had been completely abandoned.
Dude. Caretaker of call, please. There's a house right there. And there's a burnt down house right there.
The entrance looked like it had once been boarded up, but by the time Derek arrived, it was wide open. He understood the risk of going inside a place like this alone, especially somewhere isolated. But the need to document what he had found pushed him further in. Inside, the atmosphere felt strange almost immediately. It did not feel like a normal house. The layout seemed unusual, almost like a mix between an old office, a motel, and a private residence, with empty rooms, broken doors, and debris scattered through the halls. But what stood out most was a mattress on the floor that looked recent enough to suggest someone may have been staying there. That detail changed the entire feeling of the exploration. Suddenly, It was no longer just an abandoned building. It could have been someone's hiding place. Every sound started to matter. Every shift in the floor and every dark doorway felt like a warning. At one point, his camera briefly passed a bathroom door, and at that moment, Derek did not seem to notice anything strange. But later, while reviewing the footage, he spotted what looked like a faint figure standing partially hidden inside the bathroom shadows. Unaware of that at the time, he continued deeper into the building and eventually headed toward the basement, even though the mood had already shifted into something far more uncomfortable. The air seemed heavier, the rooms darker, and then, without warning, something happened.
Hello? Dude, I think I hear somebody. I think I hear something.
Derek did not wait to find out what it was. He rushed out of the building, got back on his bike, and left as quickly as he could. Some abandoned explorations end with interesting footage or a strange story to tell. This one ended with unanswered questions, and the disturbing possibility that Derek may not have been alone in that building after all. That's all for today, folks. If you'd like to see more of this creepy content, click on the video on screen.